So what's really interesting about my experience, like how many of you guys have had some form of imposter syndrome about what you're trying to teach? Like, yo, I learned this from Tony Robbins. I learned this from ET. I don't feel like teaching it because it's their stuff. And so a breakthrough happened for me 6 months after quitting my job. I'm just like, there's no reason I should have imposter syndrome because nobody is me. And what that meant is like, I have a unique journey and story, and my journey is powerful because I actually got coaching from Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas, and then of course the sales and marketing. So Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, and Eric Thomas is unique because they all teach in a different way. So Eric Thomas taught me how to inspire people. And then he introduced me to the DISC assessment. So I know what like the 4 types of personalities, right? So that was cool. But the first person that I really started listening to early on was Bob Proctor and Tony, but for some reason, their messages didn't resonate with me too much. Like I knew what they were saying, but I didn't fully get it. Right? So it was like going over my head. So I listen, I'd be like, yo, those are some great ideas, but I couldn't internalize it and only act on it. So it took me listening to ET a lot to get into Tony Robbins' world. And once I went to a UPW, it was like, oh, let's go, Tony, I get it. I understand patterns, I understand frameworks, I understand managing your state. And then once I got a full understanding of Tony, now I could go to Bob and be like, yo, Bob, I know what a paradigm is. Who here knows what a paradigm is? That term is just like, I heard Bob say it all the time. He's just like, yo, that determines your life. And I'm just like, yo, all right, Bob, that sounds cool, but I still didn't get like what a paradigm really is. So somebody tell me really quick what they think a paradigm is.
I know what it is, but I don't know that I can explain it.
That was me. Like I knew what it is, but I couldn't explain it. So Marvell was like, I know what it is, but I can't explain it.
It's like a basic truth, a basic understanding, and the shift would be your whole world changes from one thing to another because you see something new.
Yo, that's powerful. Like once we understand paradigms, our whole world changes.
So it's a typical example or pattern of something, like a pattern.
What did I say? Tony Robbins says, like, yo, once you master the art of being able to identify patterns, use patterns to your benefit instead of letting it beat you up, and then create your own pattern, is game over. We must understand paradigms to really understand patterns to really change our life. Because here's the thing, the world is how it is. We interpret it differently. So how we see the world is not how the world actually is. Right? Our mind be playing tricks on us. So it's really important to us to understand that how we see the world is not how it actually is.
Like finding patterns that are current to something and actually internalizing it and being able to create action steps out of it.
Like your experience, your own story.
Change your story, change your life is what Tony Robbins says. So we all have these stories that we tell ourselves, right? But if we could change our story, it'll change our life.